my God.
Hello, hello.
It's party town in here. I need a beer. You want a beer?
Oh, if you have one that I'll drink.
I know. Crawford Bock?
Sure.
I think it's a Crawford Bock. All right. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to another week of Case Files.
With Kat.
And actually, I don't know that I've ever actually had a Crawford Bock, but I just went to their Oktoberfest not too long ago, and they had some phenomenal seasonal beers right now.
I was just at St. Arnold's, and they have some new
Yeah,
IPAs that are really great, and they have a good seasonal too.
Yeah, they've got a really good Christmas one out right now already. I was there.
Oh my God, the Christmas one?
2 weekends.
I didn't notice the Christmas one.
It's in a bottle. You can drink it. You have to drink it there.
God, what is it called?
There's
I forget what it's called, but I remember liking it, like the Christmas one.
Oh, I don't remember. It's got a really cool artwork on it, but it's kind of sad around here where we live. So many breweries are closing. Like they're just shutting down.
Who else?
I mean, there's been several.
That is sad.
Yeah.
Pour some out for our homies.
Yeah. Some of them get saved. Some of them get bought. But unfortunately, it's hard for everyone right now. But anyways, I do love our beer scene in Houston. It's great.
We do have a good beer scene.
Yeah, and they're all, by the time you listen to this, they probably won't be. Well, they might be. But they're all doing their Oktoberfest stuff.
Yeah.
And so they have their seasonal beers, like their food. So I'm sure if you live near a brewery somewhere outside of Houston, they're probably doing the same thing.
Go and support your local breweries. We need them.
Yes, that is the point I was getting at.
The craft beer scene needs more supporters. Yeah. And I know it's so easy to go into the grocery store and just pick up whatever. But there's so much good beer out there.
Yeah.
So our dream is to do this show on the road and just try every beer in the United States.
I love it.
Well, every IPA. Yeah. Anyway, every IPA.
I'm not about the IPAs over here.
I know.
I would try anything else they have on their menu.
I know. But anyway, how's the Crawford Bock?
It's really good. To be fair, I love Carbach. I don't care. Everyone says they sold out, but to each their own. Yeah. They're still going, and their brewery's amazing.
They are still going. Whenever I say Bock, it makes me think of a chicken sound, like Bock, Bock, right? Yeah. And during the cabaret a couple weekends ago, someone sang "Forget You" or "Fuck You" by CeeLo Green, singing it like the chickens.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was like someone did the Kermie voice of like, oh, hi everybody, like welcome to the chickens. Yeah. So it's Gizmo and the winner, right? Gonzo and his chickens. And so it was like quack, 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 quack. And so all the kids got on stage and started dancing, and you could not upstage these two guys. Well, Scott was really tall, and he has one of those handlebar mustaches that do this. Yeah. And he's just very serious. He's a NASA engineer, rocket scientist guy. But he's like, right? And then you have John, who's like much shorter, and he's in his little vest, and he's like, and it was so much fun. And the kids tried so hard to upstage these two, who were not moving, but it was hysterical. And I was like, Bock, 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 Bock. Like, I can't look at that without Bock, Bock. Crawford Bock.
It is pretty good. I don't think I've had it before. I've got, and I just totally spaced.
Astros colors, we love it.
I've got Galveston Island's pumpkin beer at the house to drink. What? Oh my God, you like IPAs but not pumpkin beers?
Pumpkin. I just can't handle pumpkin. I think I think pumpkin.
I love the pumpkin beers for the most part from different places.
I will say I haven't tried it. I will try it.
They're usually, some are definitely better than others. But anyways, for the most part, it reminds me of fall.
So, yes.
I don't like pumpkin spice lattes, but I love pumpkin beers.
I'm with you. I just feel like we've oversaturated the whole marketplace with pumpkin flavored everything. There's like pumpkin flavored Cheerios. There's pumpkin flavored Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, I don't eat any of that.
There's pumpkin flavored. There's probably pumpkin flavored toilet paper. with a scent of pumpkin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're just, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Is that the only scent? Is that the only thing we have? I don't know. That's it. Is that the only fall scent? I like a little apple pie.
I'm
I
so
like
mad.
cinnamon. I like
I'm
vanilla.
so mad that Starbucks got rid of their apple drink. They always have that. Like they had them last year in the fall. The apple ones.
The apple cider with the caramel.
Well, they have apple cider, but they don't have like as an alternative to pumpkin spice stuff. They had all kinds of apple lattes and all kinds of stuff last year, and they were delicious. And then they're like, no, you guys liked it a little too much. No, just pumpkin spice. Ew. I don't go there very often anymore, but sometimes it's so convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient.
And I was so mad to find out that they didn't have their apple this year because I'm not a pumpkin spice.
Have you been to Seven Brew Coffee?
No, do they have apple?
If you've never been to Seven Brew,
it's just so far from the office. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to Starbucks because it's like right there, or the other two that are.
They've got all kinds of. They've got all kinds of flavors.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I've not had a bad coffee there yet.
I'm so lazy. I just don't like driving, and I don't like driving that far. Like I have to drive all the way.
I'm gonna get you coffee one day. I'm gonna bring you coffee.
Anyways,
I'm gonna bring you coffee.
We've missed you guys. I know we had an episode already, but.
We still missed you. It's been a week.
I always miss people. I miss our listeners.
And I miss our listeners. I do. Hey, doesn't it feel like there's a serial killer in Houston right now?
They swear that they're not related. I'm like, how can you tell me there's 6 bodies or 11 bodies or whatever the count
13
is?
bodies this year, but like 6 in the last.
Yeah, but they say they're not related. They say that some of them are just accidents. How do you just accidentally end up in a bayou? Like multiple bodies just accidentally. And if you're not familiar with the bayous in Houston, you just don't accidentally fall into it and die.
It takes effort. It takes effort.
Yeah.
Unless we have like a whole lot of suicidal people.
But they say like there's no pattern, there's no connections. You are so full of shit right now. So be so fucking for real. Like,
be so fucking for real. The
13 in a year.
I mean, it's a lot. And here's the thing. Not all serial killers have a type. Yeah. Like sometimes it's a matter of convenience. Like, this is lucky. It doesn't have to be a brunette with long hair, college aged. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that.
And isn't it like the multiple bayous? It's not just the one bayou.
Just the one
3.
bayou. Mm-hmm.
And someone was like, well, maybe they're treating it like the killing fields of bayous. Maybe it's multiple people. But either way, you can't tell me that there's not a serial killer right now.
Plus, in Austin,
there's 13 individual murderers out there.
Listen, Austin has had bodies showing up in their lake.
Yeah. There's no way.
Like, could they be connected? And no one is covering that. Maybe we need to cover that shit.
There's been so much once in a lifetime events this year and rare events and all of these things this year that there's no way I don't believe that there's suddenly a new serial killer, because there hasn't been a serial killer technically in years. So this year seems like the perfect fucking year to have.
But also, like, there always is a serial killer.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know what I mean? They say like there's not been one like there used to be.
Yeah, they're not. It's not the 70s.
Yeah.
When it was just like,
it's a little bit harder to get away with it.
Hey, are you a serial killer? I am. Hey, nice to meet you. You know
what I mean?
Pass each other in the killing fields and shake hands. Yeah. You know, that kind of
I'm going to use this side of the field. You can use that side.
You know? Oh my God. Okay.
There's social media and stuff now. It's just, anyways. I just don't.
They've got dark web, friend groups.
Crazier things. If you watch Dexter, you definitely know.
Mm-hmm. They're all incels or something. I don't know.
Anyways, okay, so I really didn't know how I was going to follow up your story from last week because, woof. But this is a story I've been wanting to do for a really long time.
He was just an asshole.
There's no mullets involved in my story.
Yes!
This is a disappearance that I have been wanting to do for a really long time, and I felt like now is a good time because there have been a lot of updates this year.
Oh, good.
And they're getting closer to what technically... They feel like they know what happened, but it's one of those things where the evidence is, you know.
Okay. And I'm not going to ask any questions.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about all of it, and then it's going to be so frustrating that they haven't actually been able to charge anyone because it's like, you're going to be like, oh, they totally fucking did it.
Okay. All right.
So anyways, this is a 25-year-old case. And it's Asha Degree. She was known as Shelby's sweetheart, which is the town where she lived. And she was born to Harold and Akila Degree in 1990. That's such a unique name. I hadn't heard it before, and we looked it up, and it's pronounced so many different ways. So I'm just going to say Akila.
I think it is Akila, because
so many people pronounced it differently. Yeah. So I'm sorry if that's your name and I mispronounced it.
Iquuilla. Akila. Yeah. And I was like, is it like tequila? But no.
I mean, it's an I and 70, but anyways, so Harold and Akila Degree, and she was born in 1990. Now she had an older brother named O'Brien. Harold was a dock loader at Pittsburgh Plate Glass, and Akila worked for a piano building manufacturer. The children would let themselves in after school, where the parents expected them, to be doing their homework or to be done by the time that they got home. And this wasn't a house of neglect or abuse. This was they had a loving home. It was. They made sure their children were insulated from outside influences. They didn't, their life centered around an extended family. They were very into the church and schools. They didn't even have a home computer because Akila said it was just, the internet was basically just full of pedophiles. And I mean, she's not wrong. And she wanted to protect her kids she was trying her best as a mother to protect her children from outside influences and things on the internet they didn't need to see at the young ages they were. And back then, it was completely unregulated because this is the 90s.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, she was trying to prevent that kind of stuff from happening.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you, I see what those kids are watching and I'm like, oh, this is just, their language is called brain rot.
Yeah.
It is not on accident.
Well, and so much grooming happens online. Yep. And she was just so afraid that something would happen. And she said that she does not believe, as I get into the story, she does not believe that her daughter had access to the internet anywhere else. So that was not...
Oh,
when I get into the story,
she doesn't think that she was at a friend's house,
right? It's not like
or the school
a grooming situation.
Okay.
So Sunday, February 13th, the children went to church from a relative's house. They were at a relative's house. They went to church and then they returned home. Mm-hmm. Around 8 p.m., they both went to bed in a room they shared. So O'Brien and Asha shared a room at this time. And almost...
How old are they again?
Asha was 9. I don't know how old the brother was. Okay. He was older, by only a few years. Okay. They weren't too far apart in age.
Okay.
And so around 8 p.m. they went into the room they shared, and almost an hour later the power in the neighborhood went out because of a car accident. A car hit the transfuser. Anyways, the power came back on around 12:30 in the morning, at which time Harold checked on the children and saw both Asha and O'Brien asleep in their beds. He checked again shortly before he went to bed around 2:30 in the morning this would have been February 14th now. And they were both there. Okay, O'Brien was 10. So O'Brien was 10, Asha was 9. Mm-hmm. So shortly after this check-in, O'Brien... when they were talking to him after they realized she was gone, in interviews, he said he recalled hearing her bed squeak, but he assumed that she was just changing sleeping positions. He didn't hear her get up out of bed. He didn't hear her moving around. And he just went back to sleep. I mean, he's a 10-year-old kid in the middle of the night. He didn't think anything unusual. He thought that she was just, she's 9. But she was actually preparing to leave her home. So at this time, she was in the 4th grade at Falston Elementary School, and they were about to head into a 3-day weekend. And so for reasons unknown, even to this day, Asha packed her backpack with clothes and personal items and left her home and started walking along North Carolina Highway 18 between 3:45 a.m. and 4:15 a.m.
What?
So they had said she was on a basketball team and they had a game and she was a little upset by her performance, but that wasn't enough for her to why would that equate to running away, right? And they thought she was over it because
I'm gonna get pain meds real quick.
Okay. Because like after the game and she was upset, she went to see her brother's game and she was completely fine. So they didn't really believe that this would have been reason enough for a 9-year-old to like run away. And there wasn't like a note. There wasn't like any, like there wouldn't have been any way, like she didn't have access to the internet. You know, she didn't have a phone.
Did she know how to get from like point A to point B? Like, could she have walked from home to school?
No, the direction she was going was not towards her school. So they don't know why she was going that way. They don't know why she left. There was literally no clues. They don't know why she packed up her stuff, what made her leave.
But she 100% packed up her stuff.
She packed up her own stuff. She put her clothes. She had like a picture of her friend in there. Like
they found her bag.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
Okay. Oh.
But she just took like a few sets of clothes, some personal items, left her house when everyone else was asleep. No indication she was upset, no indication that she was leaving. They didn't even know how she would have known to like run away, like how that would have been a thought in her mind. And so on this particular day, the weather was also awful. So when she left her house, there was heavy rain and horrible wind, like very strong wind. So she's like choosing to leave when the weather is awful, like heavy rain. So multiple passing.
Because it feels like when a kid runs away, they do it on a really nice day.
Well, you know,
and they just go for a walk. And they come,
they're just trying to prove a point. Sometimes they're going to a friend's house, but they're not like 9.
This is at the middle of the night.
Yeah,
in
horrible
the morning, weather.
3:45, sometime between 3:45 a.m. and 4:15 a.m.
That's still the middle of the night.
Heavy rain, strong wind.
Heavy rain.
Had to be very quiet to sneak out of her house because she waited for her father to go back to bed because he went to bed around 2:30. And shortly after that last check-in is when she got up and started getting her shit together. And so on this particular day, like I said, the weather was terrible. Multiple cars passed her and one of them was like, this is not right. Like,
they didn't stop?
Well, I'm getting there.
I'm like, bitch.
One was like, also it's raining, it's dark outside. I'm just saying the other ones may not have seen her, right?
Okay.
Because she's on the side of the road, walking in the dark. One of them did and immediately thought, this is not right. Why is there a literal child walking down the street at this hour in this weather alone? So they saw her about 1.3 miles from her house. They turn around to try and find her. The driver says he circled around 3 times, and on the 3rd time he saw her, he pulled over and got out of his car to try to approach her, and she ran into the woods and he couldn't find her. So she saw him get out of her car, out of his car.
That poor little girl. What is happening with her?
So he of course reports that to the police, but the police were like, what do you mean? You saw a little girl run into the woods? That didn't make sense to anyone. But he reported it. A truck driver reported seeing her also. He was an 18-wheeler driver, said, hey, I saw this little girl. And all while this is happening, her parents are waking up around 5:45. So, had she left at 4:15, the drivers call the cops. They're trying to, they can't tell the parents because they don't know who the little girl is, right? So Aikila recalls awakening around 5:45 on February 14th to get the children ready for school.
Yeah.
She opened the bedroom door to wake them up slightly before 6:30.
Oh my God. That poor mother.
O'Brien was in his bed, but Asha was not. She couldn't find her anywhere in the house. She looked in the house, the cars. And then so she tells Harold, hey, Asha's missing. And Harold was trying to be cool, calm, and collective, right? He's like, well, maybe she's at my mom's house because his mother lived in a house across the street. You could walk there across the street. And he's like, maybe he was just trying to be.
What do we know about Harold? He was the only one awake.
He
okay.
Not involved.
All right.
The very loving parent. Very, okay. He wasn't involved. So, Harold is trying to be like, maybe she's just across the street. Let's not freak out yet. So Aikila calls his sister, who is across the street with the mother, like his sister, like Harold's sister. And she's like, Asha's not here. We have not seen her. And at this point, Akila goes into extreme panic mode, right?
I'm panicking.
She's not at the house. She's not in the car. She's not at the mother's house.
Oh my God.
They immediately report her missing, and an intensive search began.
It's kind of a rural area too, right?
I mean, a lot of this area is rural. It's a long stretch of highway, trees,
right? Lots of trees.
I mean,
they're neighbors,
especially
but it's not super citified.
Yeah, like where I lived, it was literally a one stop sign town. Okay, like in North Carolina.
Not even a stop signal. You had a sign.
Yeah, there's a ton of farming areas, mountains. Unless you live in a big city like Charlotte, Raleigh, places like that, a lot of this highway area is going to be rural, at least back then. Now I'm sure it's changed, right? Which made it even stranger that this is the path she chose, and she didn't go to the mother across the house, like the mother's house across the street, or to the school or whatever, or to a friend's house. Anyways, this intensive search begins, and it led to the location of some of her belongings near where that driver had reported seeing her. A year and a half later, her book bag, still packed, was unearthed from a construction site near Highway 18, which is where she was driving. Where she was walking and the driver saw her. So at this point where she ran into the woods, where the driver said, hey, this is where I saw her run into the woods, her parents now have a billboard that draw attention to the case. So again,
so they found
and I'm going to talk more about it, okay?
So the driver saw her run into the woods because he was stopping.
He stopped to try and
go like, hey, kiddo. And she's like, ah. And so she runs, and that's where they found the backpack?
They found it. It was at a construction site. They were doing construction, and they were moving, like, dirt and stuff around, and they found the backpack. Like, they unearthed it while they were building.
How far from that? Is it pretty far?
Not super far.
Oh, wow.
It didn't specify, but
a construction site.
While the circumstances would seem that Asha ran away from home, investigators again could not find a reason, and not to mention they, as well as everyone else, said she is much younger than most children who choose to run away.
To really run away.
To run from someone trying to help her made it seem like she wasn't looking for help, right? Like that car driver tried to stop her. Right. She wasn't looking for help. Right. She wanted to go get away. So by 6:40 a.m., the first police officers had arrived at the scene. Like, this is the day she went missing. Police dogs were called to the scene, but they could not pick up any scent. Akila went through the neighborhood calling her name, which she had awakened everyone by 7 a.m. Friends, family, neighbors, people from the church. Everyone was coming that day to help assist in the police searching the vicinity. The pastor of their church, along with other church members, came to the house to support them. By the day's end, all that had been found was a mitten, which Asha Degree said it did not belong to her daughter, noting that no winter clothing had been taken from the house. And so basically when she packed her clothes, it was like a bunch of like t-shirts and stuff. She didn't take like winter clothes. She was not prepared for the weather at all. The mitten that had been found was not hers. So the local news prompted the two drivers who had seen her walking along the road that morning, including the one whose attempt to approach her apparently caused her to flee into the woods. The drivers were not a suspect in the case. They truly were not. And so on February 15th, the next day, candy wrappers were found in a shed at a nearby business along the highway near where Asha had been seen running into the woods. Along with them were a pencil, a green marker, a yellow hair bow that was identified by her parents as belonging to her. They also found a wallet-sized photograph of a girl that Akila originally didn't recognize, but it was later determined in 2001 that it was a photo of one of Asha's friends. So she had taken a photo of her friend with her. These materials were the only trace of her found during this initial search. Was this green marker, the photo, the picture.
Oh my God. That is so sad.
So on February 16th, Akila realized that Asha's bedroom was missing her favorite clothing, including a pair of blue jeans with a red stripe. Unfortunately, a week later, the search was called off after 9,000 man-hours had been invested into the search for the 2 to 3 mile radius of where she had last been seen. Flyers had been posted all over the area. 300 leads had been submitted that ranged from possible sightings to tips about abandoned homes and wells where she might have ended up. There was a quote that said, "We had never really had that first good substantial lead," said County Sheriff Dan Crawford at a news conference. He urged the media to keep the story alive, and they did. This story never went away. These police officers never stopped searching, and the parents never stopped searching. So some of this information I'm about to talk about may be a little bit repeated, but that was the background, and so now I'm going to give you a timeline.
Okay.
So again, some of this may be repeated. Okay, so after Asha disappeared, there was not much movement in the case until a year later. On August 2nd, 2001, that's when the construction workers found her backpack and a few other items at that construction site off of Highway 18. Her backpack was wrapped in 2 trash bags.
What?
The worker who found it knew that it belonged to her because her name and phone number was on it.
Oh.
Okay, so
2 trash bags.
So that was in 2001. In September 2017, detectives received information that Asha may have been seen getting into a green Lincoln or Ford Thunderbird. Key point here is it was an older green car. Okay?
Okay.
Excuse me. In October 2018, the sheriff's office shared a video on social media asking about a library book and a concert t-shirt from a New Kids on the Block concert with a red collar.
Oh.
The shirt was found in her backpack but did not belong to her. So they didn't know who the shirt belonged to, and they were trying to find the owner of the shirt because obviously the owner of the shirt would have had to have been with her prior to the backpack being buried within 2 trash bags in a construction site. In February 2020, a community gathering was held at Moles Memorial Baptist Church, and people walked to the missing person sign in the area where she was last seen. Later that month, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children shared a new age progressed photo of Asha because through all of this, all of these years, her mother was like, she's still alive. I believe she's alive, and I'm not going to stop looking for her.
Oh.
In May 2024, the FBI said they were making significant progress. Her mother said at the time she believed Asha was still alive. "I do not believe she is dead," she said, "and I know someone knows something. I'm not crazy enough to think a 9-year-old can disappear into thin air without somebody knowing something," which is true. How would a 9-year-old just vanish on their own? And
So
do I?
How? I want you to skip to the end, is what I'm basically telling you.
The ending will just piss you off.
This is the breacher.
In September 2024, investigators raided a Cleveland County property connected to Asha's disappearance. Sheriff Alan Norman said the warrants were obtained based on physical evidence directly connected to Asha's disappearance. Norman said no human remains were recovered at any of the properties searched, but an older green vehicle, similar in appearance to one wanted in connection with the disappearance, was towed from the property. I'm going to talk more about this property because these people are basically who fucking did it. Days later, a news outlet searched those warrants, like the public records that were issued for this property search, and discovered that they slated Asha was no longer listed as a runaway, but a victim of homicide, and her body was concealed. Investigators say there was a hair sample in her backpack in 2001 that led them to the home, which was on Cherryville Road, which was very close to her actual home. David Teddy, the attorney for the property owner who is identified as Roy Dedmon, stated that at the time, the investigation would soon reveal a new deceased person was actually responsible for what happened to Asha. February 2025 marked the 25-year anniversary of Asha's disappearance. And one of the lieutenants said it hit home. Jordan Bowen, the lieutenant overseeing the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office Investigative Division, he said it in an interview because he said about being, he was about the same age as her when she disappeared. Like they would be the same age if she was still around. I was 1 year older than her at the time of her disappearance. Later in February 2025, warrants would show that law enforcement took the cell phone of Lizzie Foster, who was the daughter of Roy Dedmon, who owned the property that was previously searched. Lizzie was 16 at the time of Asha's disappearance, according to the warrants. On September 18th, 2024... What? Oh, it gets so much worse. On September 18th, 2024...
2024... I'm looking this shit up. Okay, go ahead.
A man went to the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and spoke with detectives about the case.
Yeah.
He told detectives that when he was in his 20s, in the mid-2000s, he occasionally frequented bars and parties with Sarah and Lizzie, who are daughters of Roy. He recalled at one of the parties, Lizzie was sobbing and bawling and made several statements that she killed Asha Degree. He also stated that Sarah became very stern and told Lizzie to shut the fuck up. The police did give the man a polygraph test, even though they are not usable in North Carolina. It was stated that he passed it and with flying colors, and swore the recount of the conversation between Sarah and Lizzie and him were 100% true. In April 2025, multiple agencies, including the FBI, searched a Lincoln County property that contains several buildings along Highway 274 and North Carolina 182. The current property owner gave consent for the search and is not connected to our ongoing investigation in any way, according to the sheriff's office. However, those properties did have connection to the Roy family. The previously mentioned...
we know who did it, is basically what we're saying.
The previously mentioned hair that was found on the backpack appeared to match an Anna Lee Dedmon Ramirez, who was 13 years old at the time, who happened to be sisters to Sarah and Lizzie and daughter of Roy. And there was also a DNA match to a man named Russell Underhill. So you've got...
Russell?
Underhill, yes. Mm-hmm. So you've got Anna Lee, who's 13. Sarah, who's 15. Lizzie, that's 16. Roy, who's the father of the three daughters. All three sisters and the parents were listed on the September 2024 search warrants. Because of the ages of the three siblings, investigators believe that there had to have been adult assistance from their father Roy and their mother Connie. Investigators stated that it was due to the nature of the crime and the ages of the siblings. Help from the parents would have been necessary in the execution and or concealment of this crime. No other way about it. Now, Russell Underhill, the one who was mentioned as the other DNA match, not a family member, lived in at least 2 assisted living facilities operated by Roy and Connie at the time of the disappearance of Asha, but died in 2004. Now, when they made their statement in the previous years that someone who's dead now is responsible, they were basically trying to say it was Russell. It never made it clear how Russell was related or connected to
Why would they even say that?
Right. To the Dedmons, other than he lived in their facility, but they did later learn that Roy was listed as Russell's emergency contact on all medical records. So...
Oh, okay.
Was Russell even in his right state of mind if he was living in an assisted living facility? There wasn't much else about Russell.
There's a reason that you live in an assisted living facility. It's usually not because you're healthy, but you know.
So it was stated that Anna Lee's DNA was reportedly identified among the retrieved evidence. The investigators had a particular focus on the father and her 2 sisters, though, in new search warrants. Because, again, someone overheard the other sister saying, I killed her. And the other one telling her to shut the fuck up. And then they find the third sister's DNA, a hair, on the body. Like it was on the undershirt of one of the shirts in the backpack. So it wasn't like just randomly on the backpack.
No, it doesn't. Right? Yeah, you don't accidentally
And there was clothes in the backpack that didn't belong to her. So anyways.
Okay.
3 search warrants were executed by the Cleveland Sheriff's Office on Thursday, February 13th, 2024. 2025. Authority seized cell phones from Lizzie, Sarah, and Roy. Now, you know, they're like the 2 daughters are like in their 20s now, 30s. They're both married. Before seizing the phones, law enforcement got a search warrant for Lizzie's iCloud account starting in October 2024. They reviewed several messages and included conversations of interest in the February search warrants. The details in the search warrants focus particularly on Lizzie's Foster's conversations with Sarah and sister Annalee and Liz's ex-husband. Now, her ex-husband, the police tried to interview him and question him several times, and he absolutely refused. He didn't want any part of this investigation. He didn't want to help in any way. Didn't want anything to do it. Now, Lizzie and him were not married at the time of Asha's disappearance. I mean, you know, she was 16 at the time, and now they're in their 30s. But yeah, he didn't want anything to do with it. So in the message to her sister, Sarah sent on September 12th, 2024, Lizzie said she spoke to the family lawyer and said the theory is I did it. Accident, covered it up. So I'm going to read you some of the conversations that when they got the messages, the ones that they felt were particularly interesting, basically, towards the case.
Okay.
This is September 10th, 2024. This is from Sarah to Lizzie. They think it's our shirt. It's not her shirt. Lizzie responds, Sarah again says her mom said it wasn't hers. I don't remember that shirt. I'm scared though. Dad is probably going to be a huge suspect.
Oh.
September 11th. Annalee to Lizzie. Lizzie, you don't need to be talking to anyone. I'm at the lawyer's office right now. Annalee to Lizzie again. They advise that we should all not talk to them without representation. Lizzie, after those messages, then starts texting her ex-husband and says, this is going to get nothing but worse. I'm talking to my doctor at 5 to get something for my nerves. I'm just so worried, so worried. I mean, it's a nightmare that's going to keep getting worse. I can see nothing good happening anytime soon, and I'm an optimist. He responds, oh, no, I hate it for y'all, which I don't know how he meant it, but I feel like that's very sarcastic.
So much.
Right?
So
and it's literally, they copied it the way the messages are, and it's like, oh,
I'm so
sorry.
y'all.
I hate it for y'all. There's a reason that they're divorced. I don't know whose fault it was. I didn't really.
I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Obviously, they seem a little batshit. So, so then she responds, there's no way this is going to be okay. The next day, Lizzie to Sarah, I just talked to David Teddy, who was the family's lawyer, and she says the theory is I did it. Accident, period, covered it up, period. Sarah responds, no, why would it be you? And Lizzie says, that's what he said. So then Lizzie starts texting her ex-husband again, same day. I feel so horrible, so horrible. I don't know what to do. I caused this. To which he responds, no, you didn't. Same day, Lizzie starts texting Sarah, hey, is everybody mad at me? Sarah says, nobody is, Lizzie. And then she says, this is not your fault, and not your fault is in all capital letters.
Like, not your fault.
Yeah. So then Lizzie to Sarah on September 29th says, I'm just so anxious about, like, what's going on behind the scenes. Like, what are they going to do now? Or what are they doing now? What's going to happen to me since I wouldn't talk to them? And then, so in parentheses, it says that Lizzie was referencing when she was approached by law enforcement on the September 28th, and law enforcement said she refused to talk to him anymore. Like, did not want to discuss this case anymore. So then she says, I'm afraid it's going to get worse. Well, he told me it's going to. So then Sarah responds,
He told me it's going to?
Like the investigator.
Oh, okay.
I would assume either the investigator that approached her where she said she didn't want to talk anymore, and he was like, it's going to get worse for you.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then Sarah starts responding. I know, girl, I'm a disaster. I think if they come at you again, you should just go and be compliant. That's what I'm planning on doing. To which Lizzie says, I think so too. Honestly, I mean, I want to do what Dad says, but damn. So then Sarah says, and maybe we should have let you do what you originally wanted to do. Which, what the fuck was that? Like, what did Lizzie originally want to do? But Sarah says, then Lizzie says, I don't know. I really don't know. Sarah responds, right. You don't want something we do or say to impact him, but we also can't be living like this either. Referring to their father. So then Sarah says,
they were in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, what was happening in that house?
Yeah. So Sarah says to Lizzie, I told him I'm not going to do that. And Lizzie said, right. Oh, you did? What did he say? She said, Sarah responded, it's not like worth our mental health or anything. To which Lizzie said, right. Sarah said he was just like, I will call Teddy. We can get a polygraph with the honest people. To which Lizzie said, oh, okay. Like in 2 separate messages, like, oh, and then the next message was okay. And Sarah said, I really just don't have it in me to go through with what you have been through. To which Lizzie says, it's been hell. And Sarah says, just hearing about your situation has made me a disaster. Hearing about it, like in all caps. Lizzie says, oh, I'm sorry. Sarah's like, I just can't imagine going through that. To which Lizzie, the last message they put here is Lizzie says, but y'all have dealt with other stuff that I haven't. So, I mean, there's more information that's the end of the text. But to me, it's like, were they all fucking involved? Like, why would they kill this 9-year-old girl?
Well, it sounds like they were being controlled and abused. Obviously, like there's a generation of abuse happening here.
One article said that, and I couldn't back it up, so I didn't want to state it as a fact.
Okay.
But one article said that Anna Lee hit Asha.
Wait, how old was Anna Lee again?
She was
which one 13? Was older?
I have to go back.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Anna Lee was 13. And then Sarah was, I want to say 15. Lizzie was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, Lizzie was 16. Sarah was 15.
They're old enough to know better, but at the same time, if they've grown up in this house, who knows what shit went down,
and then
right?
Some of the theories were just like, oh, maybe they were driving in that car, hit her on the highway, and like the witness wasn't really a witness, like they maybe knew the witness, like they coerced this driver to say, I saw her, she ran into the woods, when they actually hit her.
That's some conspiracy shit though, but okay.
There's no proof of any of that, okay? I'm just telling you that's what people, because they want an answer, right?
Yes.
So the green car that was taken from the property, the one that people had reported seeing Asha get into, was said to be driven by Sarah around the time that Asha went missing. So the car was on the property. It was towed. Sarah was known to drive this car. It matched the description very closely to what witnesses had seen when they said, like other leads had said, they seen someone matching Asha's description get into this vehicle. So they somehow got her into this vehicle for unknown reasons on why. Law enforcement reportedly questioned Roy, who maintained that he doesn't know what happened. His attorney also said every member of the family had been interviewed and no one knows what happened, which is already a lie because Lizzie's already been heard confessing to I killed her, and Sarah telling her to shut the fuck up, like in public. She was crying her eyes out at this party confessing to killing Asha. And then the text messages, very clearly they know something happened and they're feeling guilty about it. And they're trying to cover up for whatever the father may have done after one of them killed her. So they all deny knowing anything about the disappearance. Roy's attorney said the connection between the Dedmons and Degree's disappearance is minuscule at best. Like, no.
I mean, minuscule.
There have been no known arrests made in connection with the case.
It's so sad.
It does not appear that anyone in the family, in that Dedmon family, has been arrested or charged with any crimes.
That's so sad. And if she were alive...
If she were alive, what?
She'd be almost 40.
She'd be 35. Her birthday was in August. She turned 35 on August 5th. In May of 2025... the reward was increased to $75,000. The following month, the Office of North Carolina Governor Josh Stein announced it would offer an additional $25,000, making the total reward $100,000 for any information. As of August 2025, no body has been found. And as we know, sadly, no body, no crime. There have been no new details shared since August. Again, Asha would have been 35 on August 5th.
Oh my gosh.
On Friday, September 26th.
She was so cute.
I know.
She was so cute.
I know.
And she would have grown up to be a beautiful, beautiful woman, but she was so cute. I can't even imagine.
On Friday, September 26th, there's now 3 billboards. There's one on Highway 18.
They're still there.
Yeah. They're still looking for whoever did it. The reward is still out there. Like, the reward increased to $100,000 this year. Like, the governor of North Carolina was like, let's find out who did this, right?
Wow.
Because they essentially know who did it, right? They just don't know how or why.
Yes.
And so on February 26th, there's 3 billboards. There's one on Highway 18 near where she was seen allegedly. They now say allegedly seen walking because, again, she was seen getting into a car. There's one along Highway 180 in Waco near her church. And there's a third one. And so as it currently stands, the investigators do believe she was a victim of an abduction and a murder. And they're actively working to solve this case. Anyone with information on her disappearance is asked to call the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office or the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation.
Did they look like in and around the construction site? Because it kind of seems like that would have been why all that stuff was there.
Right.
That would have been, well, was there any recently poured concrete?
So to me, obviously whoever did it was prepared, right? It's weird
100% prepared.
That she went missing in the woods near the construction site.
Right.
But then was seen getting into a car by other witnesses that matched the car that was on the property.
And the girls who seem to have some knowledge of what actually happened to her.
Well, one confessed to it, just straight up confessed to it at a party. One of them had her hair on the clothing inside the backpack that was wrapped within 2 trash bags.
2 trash bags.
And then the man's DNA, the Russell's DNA was on something.
Gross.
Like, I don't know. I'm not saying like that kind of DNA. I'm just saying that there was
some kind of DNA
on it that matched Russell, who just happened to live in an assisted facility.
And he could have been mentally incapacitated.
And listed Roy as his medical contact on all of his documentation.
So he could have had, do we know his IQ? Do we know, like...
There was not much information about him. But you can't tell me this 9-year-old...
He could have had an intellectual disability. He could have... Something could have been where he could have been... Roy saw... a patsy. Roy saw somebody who would do something for him.
You can't tell me that your daughter's DNA is in the backpack that's buried in 2 trash bags in a construction site near where she goes missing. Your person that lives in your facilities and has you as the emergency contact and your other daughter is confessing to it at a party while the other one's telling her to shut up because they don't want to go to jail. You can't tell me you don't know what the fuck happened to that little girl.
I agree with you.
So sad because even if they convict this family somehow, some way before they all die because they're all like the father's getting older in age and stuff, and I don't even know if Connie's around anymore because she wasn't mentioned after a certain point.
Dude, if I would be like, you know what? Don't charge them. I just want to know where she is. Let them go.
Yeah.
I just want to know where she is.
They searched their property. They searched property they used to own, and they searched the property where the assisted living facilities are with no other evidence.
Construction site? Did they do that with the construction site?
Yeah. But all they ever found was the backpack. And then in that shed that was owned by the business, they found those candy wrappers, her markers, and the photo of her friend.
But they have doohickeys now. I am so...
There was no
knowledgeable. There are doohickeys and thingamabobbers that can actually go through, and see if there's a corpse underneath the ground at that point.
There was none, and they had multiple cadaver dogs and other police dogs during the search, and they could not get any scent of her where this car claimed she ran into the woods. So if it were me, I would assume if she actually did run into the woods, there would be a scent, but maybe the rain
The rain.
Threw it off.
The rain.
But the police dogs never picked up
But
her scent.
remember in the Stacy Woods case, they did some kind of like underneath the concrete to see if she was underneath that newly poured square in the back of the yard. But like, there's got to be something now.
This
25 years
site,
on,
had just started. Like that's why they were unearthing things and they found the backpack. It wasn't like buried under concrete. It was in dirt that they were moving around.
Like it was like groundbreaking early.
No body has ever been found. No other evidence has been found. No traces of her have been found. She hasn't been heard of since then. Like she hasn't been like any contact. This family clearly fucking did something.
Those kids need, not kids anymore. Those women need to come forward. They need it. You know what? Relieve the guilt and the stress and the pain and the sadness and the whatever is not it wasn't your fault. You were a kid. You also were a kid. But let this family have their child.
But maybe they did do something and the parents really were covering up for their children.
But they were children.
Yeah, children do evil things, right? I'm not saying that they're innocent, but children can do evil things. Because technically, the car was driven by Sarah. The DNA was the daughter. The other daughter is the one that claimed to killing her. The father and the mother have never, ever even claimed any part of it.
So do you think it was like, hey, come over and, like they were the cool kids?
I have no... And then after a certain point, Anna Lee is no longer in the search warrants. The search warrants after like 2024, like 2024 and 2025 are focused on Sarah, Lizzie, and Roy only. So Russell was no longer in it. Connie was no longer in the search warrants, and Anna Lee was no longer, even though Anna Lee's hair is the one that was found in the backpack. So it was those three, but she like refuses to talk to like Anna Lee. There was an article from like early in February of this year where she was like, I don't want to talk about, she was like, they gave her a lie detector test and it came back like deceptive, like a recent one. So she clearly does know, but she refuses to talk to investigators. She's like, I don't want to talk to you. So the warrants again focus on Lizzie and Sarah and Roy.
Okay. So if anybody knows anything, are we even there anymore?
Sorry. If anyone knows anything, it's that Cleveland County Sheriff's Office or the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, because she's no longer considered missing technically by the National, Center of Missing Children, she is considered dead and concealed. So it is an open case. It is a more than likely murder case. They do feel like she was abducted by this family, but they have no way to prove it at this point because, they can't just...
I remember when this happened.
Yeah. This was a big case.
This was a big case. I remember when it happened. And I remember before we even started our podcast, like having watched... it might have been a Dateline. I don't know. I just remember, I remember her house. I remember her mother. I remember this sort of like recreation of that poor brother. And it was a stormy night. It was a big case.
And when the investigators asked Lizzie about that party where she was like, you were heard saying that multiple times that you killed Asha.
Right.
She was like, oh, I was extremely intoxicated. I wouldn't have said that. That wasn't me.
I have been drunk. I have been drunk. I have, you know what? Yeah. I've been high. You know what? I inhaled. I have never accidentally said I killed somebody.
Right. I've never even joked about it.
Multiple times. Never even joked about it. Why would you joke about that? That's ridiculous. Oh, ha ha ha. I'm just joking.
Yeah. In the February, like when she stopped speaking, like they tried multiple times to speak to her, and every time that they try to speak to Lizzie specifically, they would just say she would get very emotional. Like she would become very emotional. Like I said, she took that lie detector test, and they asked her if she was concealing information, and she failed, like miserably failed that lie detector test. The expert said it was so clear that she was being deceptive.
She was like, the sky is green and there's nothing that you can do about it. You cannot use those tests in court.
I meant to say, so in that same interview where they asked her, well, why did you say this at the party? She was like, they asked her, well, do you think your dad did it then? And she said, if my dad did it, I don't know anything. She said, if my dad did it, he did it, but I have nothing to do with it. Didn't even say he didn't do it. Didn't even try to defend him. She just said, if my dad did it, he did it, but I had nothing to do with it. And then right after she got out of that interview, she immediately called her ex-husband and talked to him for more than 45 minutes. And he refuses to tell the police what they discussed. And she has not talked to the police since she failed that lie detector test.
One day someone is going to talk. One day. It's going to be too late and it's going to be sad. But one day.
Yeah. Because the day that those September in 2024 search warrants were issued.
Yeah.
All the phone records show the daughters like talking to each other and the father all throughout the day. Constantly. More so than they had ever, basically.
Isn't that so crazy that we can still look that shit up?
But the billboards are still there. Like I said, the reward's $100,000 for anyone who knows anything. I will put the information in the show notes. Again, I feel like it's very clear who did it. We just don't know why or what they did with her. And I hope they figure it out. I hope the police find them and put all of them in prison, because they're all pieces of shit in my mind. Like, they know what happened to that little girl, and I don't care if they're covering up for their father, their mother, the Holy Spirit. I don't care.
It's like they all have invisible mullets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, they can all go to hell. And if they ever do come forward and talk, I know it will be so appreciated. I will appreciate it. I will appreciate it for her family. But
they were all minors. If they had just told the truth at the time.
Just told the truth.
Even if they did it. Even if they did it, they were minors.
100%.
They could have gotten help. They could have gotten a lesser sentence. They could have given that family fucking closure.
Have they been in trouble since? For other, I mean, like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, like,
they've been married and divorced. They're all married now, except for Lizzie, who was married and now divorced.
But I'm just saying, like, obviously, it isn't. Something happened.
Something definitely happened. Definitely involving this family. They keep trying to get more search warrants, but I mean, they're out of options now, right? Like, what else are they going to search? They've already got the car. They've already searched the properties. Russell is dead. Don't know how he died, but he died in 2004, so they can't interview him to figure out what happened. So daughters are refusing to speak to anymore. They've all failed. All of the whole family failed.
Are parents still alive?
Roy, or you're talking about
Roy?
Roy is alive. I don't know if Connie is, because Connie is not listed in any of the search warrants.
When they die, I bet something happens. Let's hope.
Well, like I said, Connie hasn't been mentioned in any of the search warrants after the initial ones where they searched the property. She was never mentioned again. So I don't know if maybe she left. Maybe she truly wasn't involved. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't find anything else on her after a certain point. But yeah. So anyways, there's still constant updates. I mean, that last one was from September. Not even a month ago. So
it's still no, it's October.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
What?
I'm 49.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Oh yeah, you did. I'm
gonna be. That's right. We should have celebrated last episode, because that was actually my birthday episode. Pre-birthday party. What?
We'll just have to celebrate for the rest of October.
I don't do that.
Oh,
I'm already like 50 in my brain. I've already gotten to the. I'm 49. I mean, that's crazy.
I don't think anyone that listens to us believes we're as old as we are.
Well, I love everybody that listens to us.
I do
so let's just leave it at that. But okay, we will see you next week. And if you see something, say something. If you need help, reach out. If you know anything about this beautiful, beautiful soul, please let somebody know. And yeah, that's it.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.